Do you want your farmland to look like this? Then make sure to check out the following 5 steps on how to make a great pumpkin or melon farmland. Step number 1 is to basically choose an area you want to work with. Don't make it too big, but don't make it too small, because otherwise it may end up looking weird. And don't make it too symmetrical either. You want to kind of these rough shapes and so on. So what I start to do, or what I do at the start, is I just put out some stone blocks every here and there just to get the rough shape, and after that I start making the wall. And you want to be as random as you possibly can, using stairs, full blocks, half slabs, and stone walls. Those will eventually, when you put it all together, it will look really cool. And a pro tip here is to start from one side, just work the outside first, so you get the rough shape of it, and it's easier to see the inside after you've done the outside, because the outside is probably the more important one, even though both sides are very important. But as you can see at the corner, it's the elevation can make it a little bit different, so that's why it's better to do it like the outside first and then come and build the inside. You can use various different blocks like stone, andesite, cobblestone, and probably even like the new deep slate cobblestone. You could probably mix it in very well. I didn't use them here, but I'm sure it would look cool in your build. Finish it off with some stones and rocks, and just put it randomly. The next step is to actually create the farmland, and you don't necessarily need to do this step, but it does look much cooler when you have farmland which is a dark color. So that's why I'm putting these water sources every here and there, and some are hidden underneath the wall, but these trapdoors are waterlogged with water under them, and they actually fit really well because they're dark oak trapdoors, which really fits in well. As you can see already on the left side there, you can see that they just fit in perfectly with the darker farmland. So you can definitely use them, not too much but sparingly, but it definitely fits into this whole theme here that we got going. Step 3 is to plant the either pumpkin or melon seeds. So you want to do it very randomly and in a very randomized order. You try to not put them in the straight line and so on. And what I do here is I plant the seed. I have the seed in my offhand, and then I have bone meal in my main hand, so that I can actually just grow it up instantly to see kind of where the pumpkins are spawning. And this will be helpful later on when we're doing the next step, because we want to know where the pumpkins are located. So you can do this. Alternatively, you could just place the pumpkins randomly yourself, but I want the stem as well, so this is why I do this way. And after you've done it, make sure to wait a couple minutes so that you let all the ones that didn't grow, give them some time to grow as well. On to step 4. This is where we kind of mix up the soil to make it more natural and living. So what you want to do is you kind of want to replace at least two blocks around the pumpkin with either coarse dirt, rooted dirt, normal dirt, or podzol. Podzol works quite nice because it has this dark color, but you don't want to use it too much, because then it just becomes too much. So you kind of want to roughen it up with these 4 blocks. You could probably use maybe some brown wool or something if you really want to get creative with it, but those were the 4 blocks I used, and it, as you can see, it's already starting to take shape and it's starting to look really lively. But after this, there is still one step that we need to do to make it even better. So step 5 is to add the details, and here you can use a bunch of different things. Like Here I'm using dead bushes to kind of make it look like there's more roots and stems and so on. So that's why they're perfect. They have the dark brown color, light brown color, which looks really perfect and really adds in a lot of detail there. But you can also use stuff like dark oak trapdoors, dark oak buttons, spruce buttons, and stone buttons. These will add a lot of detail, like it looks like there's rocks, there's kind of mud clumps of stuff just mixed together, and it really livens up the place a lot. So as you can see here, I'm just randomly placing out on the dirt blocks or rooted dirt, coarse dirt, and so on. Don't place them on the farmland because that will turn it into normal dirt, even though it's not necessarily bad because it still looks good. But just keep that in mind. You don't want too much of normal dirt either. Finally, since I'm in the survival world, I placed some lamps in here, and these are very simple lamps. I think they just fit in nice. But if you don't have monster or playing creative, you don't need to place this in at all. So before we see the final product, here's what you can also do outside the wall. You can see that I've mixed in some grass and bushes there, but as you can see, it also works perfectly with melons. So you can do it for either pumpkin or melons, but to the final product, this is what we made so far. It's a smallish field, still enough to produce a lot of pumpkins, even though it's just for show, but I think it turned out great and filled up this little space that we had here perfectly. At the end, we have a couple bonus tips, so make sure to check that. To add some detail, you can make a nice little cart with a pumpkin in it, just with pushing a composter into armor stand with a pumpkin on it, and then finally add some bone pickle on top of the pumpkins. Thank you, bye bye.